Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music. And today I'm doing my ideal Rush set list. I have two of them that I made for this video. One of them is where I just limited myself to songs that they're actually playing live this year on their comeback in 2026, their Rush 50 something tour. So it's more of a realistic one, songs that they actually know what my dream set list would be based on the songs that they've actually practiced together with their new drummer, Annika. And then the other one that I made is just my ideal set list, not with no limitations. It's pretty close. There's four songs on uh, the one that isn't limited to songs on their set list that I would like to hear. So I've there's only really four songs different between them, but I'll tell you what those are as we go. Let's dive in. So first, I'm going to start with the one limited to songs that they're playing this year, and I think it would be cool if I know in some of their shows they're playing moving pictures from start to finish. I thought it'd be cool if they actually just started the show like that. So opened with Tom Sawyer, then Red Barchetta, YYZ, Limelight, The Camera High, Witch Hunt, and Vital Signs. Basically the entire Moving Pictures album, start to finish, right to start the show. That would probably blow people's minds. And then going into Closer to the Heart, which is an anthemic, catchy song by them. After that, and then Anthem, a nice heavy earlier song by them. And closing off set one with the epic 2112, the entire suite. So that's 10 songs, but one of them is 2112, which is a 20-minute song. So it's a pretty, it's over an hour first set, which is I think roughly the length of the first sets that they're doing, just over an hour. So I think that's realistic, and I think that'd be a really strong set one. All of Moving Pictures, Closer to the Heart, Anthem, and 2112. And that's the same set one I have even in my ideal set list, not limited to songs on their set list this year. I think this is just a great solid first set for Rush. I kind of like them opening the show with something like Tom Sawyer that explodes in. I know they're opening the show with Xanadu, and maybe people think Tom Sawyer makes more sense like near the end as a closer since it's their most popular song, I believe. And Xanadu is a really cool opener, but I have that actually opening my set two because I feel like it kind of slow builds in a little bit more and it's makes more sense after them coming back from a break. Everybody's using the bathroom, getting their snacks and drinks to come in with more of a slow burn like that than opening the show. I think opening the show with Tom Sawyer would be super exciting. And then opening set two after their intermission with Xanadu would be pretty cool. And then after Xanadu, I've got The Trees from Hemispheres, an awesome song. After that, La Villa Strangiato, also from Hemispheres, a nice instrumental song. So that's the second instrumental on here after YYZ. Then I have A Passage to Bangkok from 2112, a awesome song. And after that, Natural Science from Permanent Waves. After that, I put Far Cry from Snakes and Arrows. So this is one of the later ones that I've included in this set list, since it's a song that they are playing live. It's not in my ideal set list. I'm much more of a fan of their output from their debut to Signals in 1982. After that, I'm not as big on the Rush material, although I do really like Snakes and Arrows. Besides that period, honestly, Snakes and Arrows might be my favorite Rush album outside of that their debut to Signals period. And I think Far Cry is the best song on that album. So I have it here since it is one of the songs that they're playing this year. It's not going to be in my other set list I'm going to talk about, which is my ideal without that limitation. But yeah, I think it's an awesome song. I love the rhythmic drum and guitar and bass combo and the intro. I think it's really cool. And great chorus. Then I have Free Will, which I think is an awesome song for Permanent Waves. Then I'm getting into a track that I don't have, another one that I don't have in my ideal. It's from Grace Under Pressure, but it's one that they're playing live this year, and I think it's a really solid song, probably the best song from Grace Under Pressure. So I put that on here, Distant Early Warning. And then I have By Tor and the Snow Dog from Fly By Night, which also I didn't include in my ideal set list without limitations, but I think is if I look at the songs that they're playing live, this year it's an exciting one. And then I have A Farewell to Kings, which is a really awesome song. And then closing off set two would be Working Man, which they're actually doing on their tours as the closing song each night, not just of set two, but the closing song of the encore. I think it'd be cool to see it closing the second set rather than be the encore. But that was just my idea. And I also, this might be a shocker, but I don't have Working Man on my ideal set list when I'm not constrained to the songs that they're playing this year. I decided to swap in some other songs. So there's four songs that I mentioned: Far Cry, Distant Early Warning, By Tor and the Snow Dog, and Working Man. Those are the four that I'm going to swap out for different songs when I'm not limited to what they're playing this year. But otherwise, everything else that I mentioned is in my ideal set list. And then, of course, I have an encore, which is a two-song encore, which is Subdivisions and Spirit of the Radio. I think The Spirit of Radio would be an awesome way to end the show. It has a big rock ending. It has an explosive opening. It could also be a great way to open the show as well. So I thought about that, but I think it's a nice explosive way to end. For me, I feel like it would be a stronger end than Working Man. So I put those two as the encore, Subdivisions and The Spirit of Radio. Curious to hear your thoughts on my ideal Rush set, limited to the songs that they're playing this year. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And what would your ideal set list be if you limited yourself to that? And now let's jump over into if I had no limitations, what would be other than like my limitation is just like a time limit. What would be my ideal Rush set list? Like assuming that they're playing, a normal concert length. This is 2 hours and 34 minutes, this playlist. So kind of going for a route about that duration and where it makes sense to have like a first set, an intermission, a second set, and then a little gap, and then an encore with maybe a couple songs. So that was my only limitation, but I could pick any song from any album, whether they're playing it this year or not. And I kept it pretty close to, I think they've picked really great songs to play this year. So this is very close to what we just went through. I started it with Moving Pictures, Closer to the Heart, Anthem, and 2112, same way I started the previous set list I showed you. And I'll put a link to these playlists in the description here so you can listen to these set lists too and let me know which one you like better. Then I opened set two with Xanadu, The Trees, La Villa Strangiato, and A Passage to Bangkok, and Natural Science, just like I did before. But then here's where it starts to get different. Instead of Far Cry, next, I put Bastille Day from Caress of Steel. They're not playing any songs from Caress of Steel, I believe, live this year in 2026. So that's kind of a disappointment. I think Caress of Steel is an awesome album. It's underrated, and I think Bastille Day would be a good song to play from that. And then I've got another one that they're not playing live at all this year, I don't think, which is Jacob's Ladder from Permanent Waves. Awesome song. And then after that, another one they're not playing live at all this year, I believe, is Fly By Night, the title track from Fly By Night, which they're playing By Tour and the Snow Dog, which is great. But I feel like Fly By Night is a bit more iconic and missing from the set list. So I kind of put that in instead of By Tor and the Snow Dog. And then I put in Jacob's Ladder instead of Distant Early Warning and Bastille Day instead of Far Cry. And then I've got next I got Something for Nothing, which is what I put in instead of Working Man. I think it's a similar rocking song. And I love Working Man too. Like that would be it was a near miss from my ideal set list. But when I was thinking about other Rush songs, I feel like I kind of just I like this one a bit better. Something for Nothing. And then I have a Farewell to Kings, and then I close off set two this time instead of with Working Man, I close set two with Free Will. And then my encore in this set is the same Subdivisions and The Spirit of Radio. Yeah, let me know what you think of this ideal Rush set list here. Which of the two set lists I shared do you like better? What are the most insane songs that I left off that you think really have to be here? Or what are the most insane songs that I included that you think really shouldn't be in the set list? Let me know. And if you're going to see Rush this year, also let me know. Curious to hear if you've already seen them. Was it good? And if you like metal, rock, and prog music, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the loop on when I post new videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.